Hey everybody, I'm Jackie Somerville. Welcome to my channel. Today is Storytime Saturday, and I'm continuing to read to you from my new book, all about how loving younger men reignited my passion. I love to share these stories with you. If you missed the first few parts of the book, I'll make sure to link those videos below this one so you can catch up. Today we are doing chapter 2, and I'm going to start out by reading the last paragraph where we left off last Saturday, just to put it all in context for you. Here we go. I could let go of Dr. Gabriel in the knowledge that our Moroccan romance was perfect, that I will forever love and cherish him because he crossed my path, that I do not need to own him or to possess him for it to have been real and for it to have been love. Besides, my heart still belonged to someone I still hadn't been able to let go of, a beautiful, feral, troubled younger man back in California. Chapter 2, The Beautiful Man from California. The first time he took me in the bathtub, he came around the corner, glanced at me lounging naked in the warm water, and began to strip. He walked towards me with purpose and lustful focus, taking his clothes off one item at a time, and climbed in on top of me in one move. The short and powerful approach to the climb-in was enough foreplay for me. So turned on by his devilish grin, the look in his eyes, audacity, and take no prisoners attitude, I wanted him as soon as he was ready. I giggled and jokingly protested as he approached. It added to his determination and to the pleasurable excitement of the moment. "Come on, baby girl," he laughed. "You know you want it." I did. I wanted my beautiful man morning, noon, and night. The physical and chemical attraction was staggering and unprecedented. Then there was the sweetness, the kind heart that contradicted all assumptions. He just wanted to love and be loved. I found myself wondering where the capacity to love so fearlessly came from in the face of all he'd been through. I met him in a grocery store. It was March of 2012, and 20 years had gone by since I'd immigrated alone to Canada from South Africa with nothing but naive courage, a suitcase, and a tennis racket. After 2 decades of highs and lows, friends, lovers, and lessons in Vancouver, I found myself single and wealthy, feeling sexy and invincible, yet tortured by unfulfilled dreams and a burning desire for passion. I sought passion and purpose everywhere, through reading, writing, experimenting, playing, praying, traveling, dating, and flight school. And on that road of discovery, I fortuitously bought myself a winter home in the California desert. During the first season in my new vacation home, I was in a grocery store selecting cheeses for a dinner party. The young man was handing out bruschetta samples. He said hi, stared at me for a while, and as I walked off, he said, "You're very beautiful." What? What did he just say? I said, "I beg your pardon?" I mean, he was gorgeous and looked no more than 22. And so he repeated it. "You're very beautiful." I've been complimented by strangers over the course of my life, but at 46, I was kind of shocked to hear this from someone so young. I blushed, and I said thank you. As I started back up the next aisle, he smiled and asked, "How are you?" "I'm great," I said, "now that you just made my day." I was picking out produce when he came to find me. He rushed up to me, shook my hand, introduced himself, looked at my left hand and said, "I see you aren't married." I laughed and he disappeared. He was a risk taker, didn't care that he might have been fired. He was back at his sample post near the front of the store, and I waved goodbye as I left the checkout. I had a strong feeling he'd find a way to connect with me one more time before I drove away, and if he didn't, I would go back in and hand him my card. A man willing to put his job on the line was someone I wanted to know more about. I'm attracted to guts, confidence, determination, and courage. And he was handsome and very engaging. Sure enough, after a couple of minutes, he followed me outside and made his way toward me, pretending to collect shopping carts along the way. He reached my car and handed me a white paper napkin with his name and number scrawled across it in black ink. "Call me," he said. "No," I replied. I handed him one of my cards and I said, "You call me." His first text came before I even got home. "You from here?" My Canadian area code prompted that question. My answer: "For part of the year." Him: "How much time do I have?" Me: "About 6 weeks." Him: "Okay, I get off work in a few hours. Can I call you?" Me: "Yes." He called when he got off work and he said, "Hey, do you want to get together and have some fun?" Well, yeah, since he put it that way. "You'll have to come over to my place," I said. "I can't leave my dog alone." "I can do that. I have a car." There was always a certain amount of risk involved when one had a dog who couldn't be left alone. Last-minute spontaneous get-togethers had to happen at home, and I dug deep to see if my gut was throwing out any red flags. The coast seemed clear, but I did lock up my jewelry and wallets in the safe, just in case lust and curiosity had clouded my usually trusty instincts. I felt a fleeting moment of doubt when the doorbell rang. What am I going to do with this young man? He's a total stranger from a different generation, works as a grocery store clerk, and I have just invited him over to play in my fancy holiday house. What am I going to say? I needn't have worried. I opened the door, and there he stood in all his magnificence. "Hi," he said with intoxicating enthusiasm. His smile was broad and white and perfect. His eyes were wild and alive. He seemed so proud of himself. And then he wrapped his gorgeous big arms around me and embraced me with an emotional hug so intense. It was as though we'd known each other our whole lives. I knew in that moment that the evening would unfold as it should. And I knew that this man was unique. His soul was special. I melted into him. "I've already got a double vodka going," I said. "What would you like to have to drink?" "Well, I guess I'll have what you're having," he said. "I don't really drink. My grandfather's an alcoholic. Besides, I don't like it much." And with that, he began to tell the story of his life. It flowed out of him in a no-holds-barred, cathartic purge, one shocking detail after the other. He showed me scars from police dog bites and rubbed my finger over 2 bullets still in his leg, a leftover reminder of a childhood and adolescence best left forgotten. He told me about his 8-year-old son and that his divorce from the boy's mother was about to be finalized. I grilled him with questions, wanting to understand a life so radically different from my own. My childhood was defined by support, security, safety, discipline, and guidelines. The beautiful boy had lived a childhood seemingly devoid of such things. When my questions got too much for him, maybe verging on judgmental, he pushed the bar stool back, stood up, and engulfed me in those sexy, bad arms again. And then he put his big hand under my chin, lifted my face, and slowly, softly, sensually, and spectacularly kissed me. "Take off your clothes, Jackie," he said. "Ah, no! We've only just met," I shot back, laughing. "Jackie, take off your clothes." Relentless. And I was thinking to myself, the full brights are on in here, and I don't want to strip in front of his youthful hotness. He thought I was about 35, and I wanted to keep it that way. He persisted. "Jackie, take off your clothes. We're getting in the pool." I was seduced by his charming audacity. It rendered a tough, slightly militant, independent, and confident woman useless in his deft hands. Within minutes, we were naked in the pool, crazy with raw passion and lust. The man could kiss. Holy hell, he was sexy. Here's the thing. Lips are sexy, but wide open, wet mouths and ramming tongues are not. Ugh! This man, my young, troubled grocery boy, could teach the world how to kiss. And there are many men I've known who could attend this class. At 10:30 p.m., we made scrambled eggs. How old are you? I asked. You look about 22. Well, how old are you? He said. Not that it matters. I'm not telling you, but I'm pretty sure I'm older than you think I am, I replied. So am I. I'm 29. And then he showed me his driver's license. Now, based on what you just said, he continued, I think you're probably 38. At first I thought maybe 35. Perfect, I said. Let's leave it at that. The beautiful man wanted to stay the night. I like to sleep alone, I said, and at 1 a.m. I asked him to leave, but not before inviting him to my dinner party the next night. I have 4 friends coming over. They're all gay men, and I hope you'll be okay with that, because if you're not, we might as well end this now. His response was positive, and I was excited. Chapter 3, The Dinner Party. There was powerful passion in the pool the night that I met the beautiful man, but no penetration. I had my reasons for wanting to wait. When he tried, I jokingly pushed him away. He didn't force me, but charmingly persisted, and every time I said no, he'd come back from a different angle. Then he'd go back to kissing me, a skill that he'd taken to levels of mastery. I'd become putty in his hands, and he seemed to know it, so he'd make another move. No, I giggled. Why not? Just not tonight, I said, laughing. But why? I just want to wait a couple of days, I said. I didn't really want to wait. My desire was through the roof, and I silently cursed the monthly cycle. But as I have since learned, everything is a miracle. Even the stuff we think we don't want. After all, it might have been the unrequited deed that brought him back the next night, the charm of the forbidden, the lure of eventual victory, or maybe it was love at first sight. Whatever it was, he came back. Make sure to tune in next Saturday for the continuation of the story. What happened at the dinner party that night? And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so now. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the continuation of the story. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.